Welcome back to the commodities market. Now we have Mr. Bismarck Rewane, MD, Financial Derivatives Company, join us from via Zoom. Great to have you on the show, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, sir, we got that screaming headline. Last night, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, that's IPMAN, securing an agreement with Dangote Refinery to lift products directly. So, is this where we consumers of fuel pop champagne?
Yes, I didn't quite get that question, but if I thought what I heard was what you said, then let me start off by saying that we have seen some changes have taken place since Trump got his re-election bid, and we've seen the dollar strengthen remarkably, and commodity prices drop. So we are facing a situation where the price of oil is about $71 a barrel. But strangely speaking, in spite of all of this, the Naira held its own at 1735. So that's good. The dollar appreciated against the basket of currencies, but held steady against the Naira. So that's positive. Well, what does that mean? We also understand that there might be some hope for an increase in oil production, which means that all things being equal, if our oil production increases, then the increase in production may compensate for reduction in price. But the reduction in price actually means good oil price. It means that pump price of petrol may actually begin to stabilize at the current levels of about 1050.
Mr. Rodney, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, fantastic. So what I actually asked was, now that IPMAN can lift, products directly from the Dangote Refinery, is it time for consumers to celebrate?
No, the Dangote Refinery, like we've already said clearly, that IPMAN has an agreement with Dangote to buy from the refinery. Basically, the market structure is such that there's a major dominant producer, which is the Dangote Refinery. The other refineries which are going through the turnaround maintenance, and then we have modular refineries. So essentially, you have a price leader, and then the others are price followers. Again, I must say this, and I've said it so many times, the cost of the product is different from the price of the product. The cost is what we are debating. If the price is higher than the cost, then there's a margin. If the price is lower than the cost, then there's a subsidy. Right now, we are almost at the point where the price and the cost are almost equal. So what happens going on forward? Now, one is that the IPMAN, which are the independent marketers, are going to be buying from Dangote, but they have the option to import if they want to, and they can buy from the NNPC. The other, the major marketers have already resolved with the Dangote Refinery, and they've agreed on some pricing formula. Then also you have the major global oil traders, which is Vitol, Trafigura, and Glencore, begin to buy refined products from Dangote and shipping across West Africa. So Nigeria will be earning some dollars from that project. So the thing comes back to, what does this mean for the viability of the Dangote refinery? I think it's good. The initial teething problems are kind of going to be worked out, and then we begin to see a consistent pickup of demand in this area. But what is important is that what we have heard and what we are seeing is that it is possible that our total demand for PMS in a day comes to about 30 to 32 million liters, as against the projected and the exaggerated view that we're consuming 70 million liters a day. If that is the case, then we are actually going to be consuming about 48% of what we were supposed to be consuming. That reduces, to a large extent, the external imbalances of this currency and for the country. So I think that's a good development.
All right, and it's the inflation reporting season. We're expecting Nigeria's headline inflation for October. That's coming up Friday from the MBS. So what are you seeing?
Yes, the FDC econometric model is showing up a number of 33.29, which is about 0.7% higher than what it was in the month of September. And what are the usual suspects? Again, are food items. Food inflation is increasing. But also core inflation has increased to about 27.62%. Now, having said that, what it does mean is that we are comparing the price of goods this in October 2024, the price of goods in October 2023. But guess what? In October 2023, the naira to dollar exchange rate was 810. In October 2024, the naira exchange rate was 1740. So the naira more than lost its almost 100% of its value relative to the position. It was 810 to 1740 is significant. Therefore, if for example the dollar was 1740 at this time last year, there would have been actually a reduction in inflation. So the base year effect is that the value of the currency is the major causative factor of inflation, whether it's food or non-food, because people use it as a benchmark for benchmarking their goods. One. Two, if the currency depreciates, it means that export smuggling becomes more attractive. People are smuggling goods across the border. So what does this mean? In the final analysis, three things are happening: harvest season, Christmas demand, and exchange rate flatlining. If those three things happen, then we will begin to see a moderation in inflation coming in January and February. But for now, for the month of October, inflation is going to go up to 33. It is possible also that November inflation will increase marginally, because what we have seen is that the increases in the price of petrol are becoming smaller and smaller. So you're going from 989 to 1030 to 1050, maybe to 1080 or 1,100, because the price of crude is dropping to $70 a barrel. So all things being equal, the inflation trajectory that was taking us all the way up is beginning to moderate. The higher interest rates is going to have an effect on people's purchasing power. And we are beginning to see some marginal increases in output. The only problem we see today is the power supply. The power cuts, the national grid is actually impeding output and actually leading to higher inflation.
And definitely, how do you see all of this impacting the decision? We have the rate setting meeting coming up this month by CBN MPC.
I didn't get that again.
How do you see all of this impacting the decision at the next rate setting meeting by the MPC?
Yes, if I heard you right, there's the NNPC factor, and we also are having, I think I got that right, we are beginning to see the effect of these on domestic commodities, of this increase in the price of petrol and power cuts on domestic prices. I'm speculating that I'm getting you right. Now, what it does mean is that we've seen, and I can go to specifics, we've seen the price of rice drop from 120, 130 to 110,000 naira for a bag. We've seen the price of onions spike sharply. And we've seen also the price of flour, imported wheat flour, stay flat at 65,000. But what is more, the drastic increase we've seen is that of onions, which is now 150,000 naira a bag. You have the red onions and the white onions, and both are going higher. But cassava gari has actually come down by almost 2% to 37,000 naira. And diesel, the major component that drives logistics, the price of diesel is flat at about 1,120 naira as of this morning. So if that remains, that in fact diesel is probably more expensive now than petrol. If that remains that way, then we believe that we might be seeing some little flickers of hope at the end of a very dark and long tunnel with the cost of living crisis, what is resulting in all sorts of frustration of the people. The misery index has increased, and hopefully by January, and it's tongue-in-cheek I'm saying, by January we're going to see a moderation in inflation in January, February, and then we're going to see a slight appreciation in the naira at that time.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rewane. I'm definitely hoping for that flicker of hope that you mentioned there. Thank you so much, Mr. Bismarck Rewane, MD, CEO of Financial Derivatives Company. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Right here in Lagos, Nigeria, the markets are trading right now. Definitely we'll be getting you intraday analysis on Business Incorporated at 1 p.m. Thank you for watching. I'm Ladi Williams. I hand things over to the Sunrise Daily team.